Okay, welcome to today's episode of Krispy Kritter. That's what I'm going to call this. So this is the aftermath of our last race. The little flash fire that we had. And I'm not being optimistic when I say this. It's really not that bad. This looks really shitty because I cut the loom apart just to help to get to these wires. But mostly what it is the fire went up really high and took out a lot of wiring. It didn't affect the important part of the system that's in the dash, which is the intercom system and the siren control or the master kill. All those were down lower and weren't affected. So yeah, I'm not being optimistic. I know Brett and them are on the team are going to be like, he's Mr. Optimistic. He never sees things in a bad way. Well, I'm being honest. Like, it's not that bad. It's stuff that we're not going to use and going to get rid of anyway. And a few braided lines, but those are easily replaced. So the big question was what caused it? And looking into it further, I've investigated a lot of fires in my career, so this was kind of natural to me. I think it started right in here. This is the steering column, my side, the driver's side. I think it started right in here. If you see the rust, give you a little lesson in fire investigation. This little rust here, that's oxidation. And all fire is rapid oxidation. So anytime we see like a huge amount of quick flash rust like this, it usually says that was the hottest, longest burning part, especially when it comes to metal. And you can see on the header here, there was definitely a flammable liquid or something there. And knowing that there wasn't anything here except for sheet metal and the power steering stuff, I think we popped the power steering line, and power steering fluid was that flash. And then the fire rolled up into the electrical. That was all a secondary ignition. So yeah, I think that's what it was. Now the fuel regulator was broken, but I think we broke that standing up there, taking stuff apart to see what was burnt. I think that was just collateral damage. But this fuel line, or this power steering line coming off the pump right here, is ruptured, and it's not really all that melted. I think it sprayed fluid from there right down onto there, and then it flashed and went up into the wiring. But regardless, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter how it started. The new motor system is completely different. It's going to be way better. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. It's toast. I'm going to get all that center console tore out. I'm going to get the intercom and the siren control and master kill and stuff all tore out of that, and the shifter, because it's still good. That center console will go in the trash pile. This is everything that's getting thrown away and not used. And then I'm going to get this thing pressure washed, get all of the dry chem from the extinguisher stuff washed out, and just get a baseline and see where we're at and start getting this thing back together. The new shop and stuff is about 95% done. I still have a little bit of housekeeping and organization to do. I'm slowly but surely getting this all stocked up with relevant nuts and bolts that have to do with the race trucks and the chassis stuff. Like that stuff. That's what I got to do. Just inventory and labeling and everything. But for now, we're going to get going on this. You can see I already started tearing into it, and I apologize. I didn't get that on camera. I thought I did. I had the camera out, and I guess I just didn't hit record. So, but you didn't miss anything. Just ripping stuff apart, seeing where we're at. And like I said, it's not as bad as it looks. There's going to be a lot less wires in the new configuration. The new engine is all self-contained with its own loom, its own ignition module. We will not need this big oil tank anymore because we're not going to run a dry sump system with the new LS motor. So Brett is going to have all kinds of leg room over here. And then we also have a brand new Fiberworks trophy truck dash that's going to go in here. So it'll be a lot cleaner and much better organized, right? A lot more efficient system. There is some fab things that I want to do while I have the time. I don't like these tires being up so high and flat mounted up here. They're really heavy and difficult to get off. I want to change them to lower on the truck and up and down so us old guys can get them off easier. And then I might move the engine forward about 4 or 5 inches. The new engine, even though it's all aluminum, it's not that much lighter than this engine. I think Brian said they're only like 80 pounds lighter or something. So it's really not that big a thing. But I want to help the balance of the truck. Right now, our balance point is about here, and I would like to move it forward just a little bit because we have so much going on back there. I'd like a little bit more weight on the front for stability. And I think moving the engine forward, engine and transmission forward about 4 or 5 inches will be not only better for weight transfer, but also just give us a lot more room for the engine components, you know, like the exhaust. We can reroute the exhaust better than it was before and make a more solid firewall. So anyway, that's the plan. And I got time to do it. Our next race isn't until Yerington, and I think that's late September, October. And at that same time, we're going to have, well, until that time, we're going to have this thing tested, running, tested, and dialed in, the new wrap put on it with the new sponsorships, Bricky's Tavern, and then the truck will be on display at Bricky's actually right before the race. That's the plan. It'll be up there for about a week before, hanging out, and yeah, so everybody can come and check it out if you want to, and then have some good food and good drink at Bricky's Tavern in Reno. So, okay, that's the plan. So I do have the camera today, and I know I'm going to push the record button, try to get this thing tore apart and back on track. I know my videos have been sparse the last couple of months, just working on this. But now that that's pretty much done, I'm going to get back on it. And I appreciate everybody for hanging in there, all of our subscribers. And again, please subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps the algorithm and gets our videos out there. And it really supports the program and the race truck and everything. It's a big deal. And also our sponsors, Edge Construction Supply, Bricky's Tavern, Fuel Promotions, and LP Engineering, and Walter Abrasives, and Mighty Ties. So all those guys cannot do this without you viewers and our sponsors. So yeah, really appreciate it. And then if you get a chance, go to our website, pbracecraft.com, and subscribe to that, become a member, and then check out our catalog. If you're interested in racing, I post videos on there, post videos of the build and races and whatnot. You can check out our new chassis, and then we also have heavy duty rear ends, custom built fab rear ends, and then like this is a link kit. This is what a weld it yourself kit would look like if you got it. Well, this isn't packaged up or cleaned up, but these will all be nice and shiny like this. Those are kits that are getting ready to go out to customers. Just check it out. Go to PB Racecraft and Torcon Industries and subscribe to those. Get on our newsletter, and we'll send you a catalog and some swag. Okay, enough marketing stuff. Let's get down to business. Okay, got a lot of that old loom stripped out. That there is rear lighting. Let's see, fuel pump power, main power, blower power, and what else? Tail lights, the flasher lights. That other loom there that you might see running up, that's the front bumper lights, overhead lights, fans, and I think that's about it. Took a little bit of heat there, but I think most of that is the loom on the outside. I wired everything with a really good high temp wire, so I will break that all apart and see how bad it was affected. But I don't see any direct like singeing on the wires themselves. It's just that nylon loom that was on the outside, which I thought was a little more heat resistant, but apparently not. So I took the distributor cap out, and then I pulled the EFI off the top. It's pretty much ruined. And now I'm just kind of disassembling things off of the motor. Got the fuel lines taken off. I'll get the regulator off, and then all the coolant lines, and pull the headers off. Here's all that wiring that you saw under there. This pretty much just goes to the EFI. And like I said, it's pretty ruined. The ECM's fine. It was under the seat, but the throttle body itself, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably refurb it. You know, it needs new injectors, new throttle positioning sensor. Actually, that probably looks okay. It's just the connection going into it. Vacuum sensor. You know, now that I'm looking at it a little closer, it could be rebuilt. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it or sell it or something. But the ECM's good. It just need a new loom. So yeah, that's it. So basically these wires are just chassis wires, lighting and so forth. Everything else was to the EFI. And all the switches, which we're not gonna have anymore. The new dash has all the switches already in place. All I gotta do is hook those wires to the appropriate switch, power to the entire dash panel, which comes off of the main battery breaker, or on-off switch, power switch. And that's it. So, like I said, it wasn't too bad. So, yep, that's where we're at. One thing I'm discovering is, well, you know, when I put this thing together, I put it together so it wouldn't come apart. And, you know, certain things have Loctite on them and anti-seize. And, you know, lock washers and lock nuts, so forth. And it's actually pretty difficult to get things out. And what I've discovered is like, I just can't go ripping stuff out, you know. I want to see what is not harmed, and just slowly trying to evaluate each part that I take out, even if it doesn't look like it was damaged at all by the fire. I just want to make sure that it's good enough to keep using, or if I need to replace it, yeah. So it's kind of a little bit of a methodical process. But taking this header out now, and it's just not a lot of room. So I'm hoping with the new motor that by moving it forward a little more, it'll enable some more room, not only in the passenger compartment, which it's pretty roomy already, but it'll give us a little bit more. But I'm really hoping that it frees up a lot more room for the drive accessories on the front of the engine, and this exhaust. These are forward-facing turbo headers, basically, and they worked out really, really well. But it would be nice if the primaries were closer to here. That way I could have all the primaries come out and maybe have the collector out here. But I don't know. It's we'll see how it works. One thing about LS motors, the later LS motors, like the 3 that we've got, they're a little narrower than these early ones. So that'll be cool. It'll free up room on the sides. Plus, not having this oil tank here is going to be a big deal, because there's not a lot of room in there. Really have to plan things out. And this header bolt is a real pain in the ass right now. These headers, they were really good headers. I can't remember the name brand. They're stainless steel, thick flanged. They'll probably be pretty good to resell. I might send them with the motor, whoever decides to buy the motor. Let's see. Pretty sure this engine is still good, at least the bottom end. We never had any knocking or anything. Was running really crappy right before the fire, but I noticed, I'm hung up. I did notice that when I took the distributor cap off, that the distributor was loose. And I almost wonder if our timing got thrown off. Now, it was loose because the clamp, even though it was super tight, the nut on it was super tight. Why won't this thing come out? The clamp seems to have bottomed out, and it's not putting, the fork wasn't putting enough pressure on the distributor cap. So I'm almost wondering, as the rotor was spinning, if it spun us out of timing a little bit. So I don't know. Interesting. All right, here we go. But anyway, back to the motor. I think it's good. I think yeah, see how thick the flanges are? They're dirty because it's got fire extinguisher shit all over it. But yeah, see, look at these. See in here? See what's inside there? That to me looks like coolant. It looks like we were burning coolant inside. The other bank doesn't look like that. It's not like that. I almost bet that we've got a bad head gasket. I don't think it's a big break, but it was enough. So we'll see when I tear it apart. But I almost bet that. Yeah, look at that. I almost think head gasket. But nonetheless, I think I've decided that when I put this motor back together, I won't put the cast iron heads on it. I've got a set of AFR aluminum heads. I'll need to valve them and put the rocker train on them, but I'll put those aluminum heads on it. I'll make sure the bottom end's good and put the aluminum AFR heads on it and then sell it. Make sure it's all good. We've got good compression and make sure the pistons and rings and everything are good, which I'm pretty sure they are. And it'll go with the, I'll sell it with all the dry sump stuff. That dry sump system's about $7,000. So whoever gets it, it'll work really, really good for like a flat tracker, dirt track, sprint car type thing. Yeah, anyway, keep going at it. So I wanted to go over my process here of how I'm going to keep things organized as I take stuff off. Obviously, like I said before, all the crap and stuff that's ruined is going in the garbage pile. I'll have like a little salvage pile that is stuff that could be, you know, cleaned up and sold. But I've got these totes, these little bins, and they're going to be labeled and then sealed up and put on the shelf. Right now that shelf just needs to be cleaned, but you can kind of see I've got exhaust stuff down below, and then all the sheet metal will be laid out on that second rack. I've got some suspension stuff on one side, but the rest of the shelves will just be these totes. This one's all internal electronics. I got the radio, the intercom, the siren, the helmet blower, tire system, the trackers, the racing trackers. This one's just going to be miscellaneous stuff. So like the window nets will go in there, the shifter, the window net bars. Probably make another one with belts that'll be tied to that one. That's a chase radio. I'll take it out, but that's my process, and I'll put labels on each of those, so when they're up there covered up, I'll know how to identify what's inside them, and I'll clean everything. Test them, make sure they're all operable before I pack them away. That way when I open the totes up during reassembly, I know everything's ready to go. Yeah, that's the process anyway. And then wheels and tires and all the bigger stuff will go out into my storage container. So that's it. Just wanted to go over that. Just a way to keep track of everything. Okay, day 2. Actually, this is 2 days later. Our dryer decided to go kaput in our house, so I've been having to deal with that. But anyway, I did get a little bit more stripped on the engine, got the headers off and all that mumbo jumbo, stripped some wires out, increased our trash pile size, so the stuff that's going away. And this thing is about ready to come out. I got it sprayed with some cleaner, degreaser, solvent stuff. It's been sitting here soaking for a little bit, and I'm gonna push it out and pressure wash it and try to get it all cleaned so I can see where we're at and I don't have to be dealing with that extinguisher residue and crud. So that's where I'm at. All right. Yeah. It fucking blew right back in my face. Okay, well that was something. I give kudos to those guys that do the pressure washing YouTube videos. They make it look easy. But that was a real pain. Trying to hold the camera. I'm sure they don't hold the camera, but I was trying to hold the camera and spray so I get good angles, but it kept blowing back at me. Anyway, so I got it pressure washed, and then we'll get it rolled in here. Yeah. Get Julie to come in and help me push it back in. There's a little bit of a rise right there, and then it dips before the threshold of the shop. Couldn't get it up over that lip. So this old guy had to use all of his might. All right, so it's back in the shop. It's all cleaned up, and got her on the dollies. Tell you what, if you don't have car dollies in your shop, you need to get some. They're worth their weight in gold. They actually make your shop a little bigger because you can move your stuff around a little bit. So, okay, so let's see what's next. I guess get the drive line out, and I'm gonna remove these coolant lines. These won't be here anymore. The new coolant lines will run down the center, And I'm gonna make all single piece aluminum all the way back, so we don't have all the rubber or silicone hoses that we had before. We'll have very, very little. So yeah, most of this wiring will stay. I'll double check that one loom that took a little heat, make sure it's all good. I'll give continuity tests and everything. But all of this is what we'll still use. It's just main power leads basically from the battery to the kill switch, and then this will go to the dash components, and this will go to the power, race pack, and that's it. The rest is lights. They'll go to switches. Pretty simple, straightforward. All right, that's it, I think. All right.